Hi, I'm Frederick Van Johnson, and I'm sitting here with a good friend of mine, Mr. Trey Ratcliff, the guy behind StuckInCustoms.com.
Hello.
And, the Pied Piper of about 2 gazillion followers online with regard to photography. So what we're going to be talking about today is just marketing in general. And this is a rare treat for me to be able to talk to you because as you know, marketing is kind of where I planted my flag, specifically marketing for photographers and how photographers can get their name out there, kind of like what you've done. So I wanted to take this opportunity to get behind the curtain and talk about what you've done to get to where you are today. So let's start with your numbers. Where are you at right now? Like in terms of followers and, likes, Pinterest, all that stuff.
Yeah, it changes pretty often. You might have to run a crawler with a new one. But as of sitting here today, I think, what are we at, Curtis?
10.5.
About 10.5 million. And that's if you add up Google+, Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter.
That's amazing.
And as far as I can tell, there's not much overlap because like Pinterest, where we have a huge following, it's 95% women.
Yeah.
I've never been so popular with girls, I assure you.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Your high school dreams come true, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But I think they might all be 40-year-old cougars. I don't know. I don't know who is on Pinterest.
All right, we're going to have to edit this now. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with 40-year-old cougars?
Well, nothing wrong with them. It's one of my best demos.
Curtis.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. No, they buy a lot of stuff. They have disposable income.
Yes,
Yeah. They buy
do.
a lot of wine and.
Yeah, because they have to woo those cubs in there. All right, I'm sorry, Cougars.
Yeah.
All right, so back to marketing. So like 10.5 million-ish, that's a lot of just mass. I mean, it reminds me of because I'm into astronomy. I know you follow astronomy a lot too. So the whole idea of accretion when planets are forming and how they, just sort of, they get bigger and bigger and they get bigger because they're drawing more mass in and then they get bigger and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how you feel as you started getting bigger, more and more people came and then it just sort of on its own?
So.
Then you had your own gravity?
I think so. It seems like this is all quite recent, but it's not. I've been at this for 6 years. It takes a while.
6-year overnight success.
Yeah. And so, we started a long time ago with just the main blog at Stuck in Customs, which is still the center of my digital world. That is the absolute center of it all.
That's the nexus. That's Rome.
Right. And so, and even 6 years ago, really, no Twitter or, Facebook was just getting going. I mean, it seems like, hasn't Facebook been around for 10 years?
No.
But no, it hasn't.
Yeah.
All this stuff is relatively new. So we started building a big following back before all this stuff was quite big. And we never spent any money on marketing or advertising. I wish I had known something like yours was available.
Right.
By the way, that's why I'm happy to do this interview with you, because this is one of the most common questions I get, other than how to make your photos look pretty or these sorts of things. A lot of people ask me about marketing and building a business and making money with photography.
Right.
But I don't talk about that, actually. I don't sell any ebooks on that. I don't sell any videos on how to get rich with photography. That's just not my thing.
Yeah.
So I'm happy you're doing it because you know what you're talking about. So now, whenever anyone asks me, I'm just going to send them to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the vote of confidence. And since we launched that series, the Essential Web Marketing series, photographers love it because it's kind of that thing that you get the questions all the time where people are like, well, how do I do this? How do I do Facebook? How do I do Twitter? And it answers those questions, so that my thing is for photographers is we don't want to, it's fun. And I know you enjoy the social media piece of it, but at your DNA level, you're a photographer and you want to be shooting and post-processing.
Yeah.
The other stuff is great,
Right.
but it'd be better if somebody could spoon feed it to you so you could keep going.
Yeah.
So leading this group, and thank you for mentioning Media Bytes, I appreciate that. So leading this group of people, and how do you manage that? The whole ball of wax. You have 10.5 million people. I'm sure you've got sponsors and all these people coming after you, like, hey Trey, here's my widget. Can you please talk about it to your Twitter? How do you handle that and block those people off to remain true to being a photographer?
Well, I only talk about products and services that I actually use. Life's too short not to use the best, I think.
Right.
So luckily, the main website is Stuck in Customs. It makes money. It's a profitable thing.
Yeah.
Thanks in no small part to social media, I'm able to send a lot of people over there, and they are able to make different kinds of financial transactions. So I don't have to.
I love that they are able to make financial transactions. In other words, they're able to buy stuff.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm just being very high level about all this.
They're able to execute a transaction whereby
I get money.
I love that.
No. So it's when it comes to people that want to like pay me to do tweets or this kind of nonsense. It never happens really because I just don't do it.
Some people do that. They'll say, "Hey, you want to tweet? I've got X 100,000 followers, whatever.
Right.
Pay me $1,000 and I'll write a tweet for you."
Right. Like a really good example is this Sony camera. Right?
Yeah.
So
the NEX.
Right.
Is it NEX7?
NEX7. Well, this one happens to be a 5N that I'm trying out, which is about the same. Okay. There's a little difference with this thing, and we won't get into it.
No.
But
that's a different interview.
So I've been using these Sony cameras for years. Like my NEX7. I've paid full price. Sony's never advertised or have any kind of relationship with me, and I've always talked about how awesome they are.
Yeah.
I have it on my blog. I recommend their cameras.
Yeah.
Same with Nikon. Nikon's never paid me a dime or given me a camera.
Yeah. Same.
Now, maybe someday I'll have a financial relationship with these guys. Maybe Sony will come and say, "All right, Trey, we like what you're doing. We think your pictures are pretty. You seem to be a good guy.
Competent.
Maybe you'll help us represent the brand well, and then we will have some kind of formal relationship, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll still be talking about them, but not because they're paying me, because they really are the best.
But then at that point, and this is for me because I'm kind of in this place right now with This Week in Photo, and when you. It's like, not to call these vendors devils or whatever, but when you sign a deal with the devil, are you then obligated to say nice things about the product? Or do you, if Sony approaches you and they say, "Hey, Trey, we love your work and we want you to talk about the NEX7, we'll pay you X dollars a year to do that." At that point, would you, if you found a crappy feature in the camera, would you feel obligated to not talk about it, or would you talk about it?
No, I'm always very honest. I just say what I believe, and I think that's why they have these relationships with me when they do. Yep. And I'm very against you're going to do this many tweets per month for us or that kind of stuff. I don't want any of that in the contract. Yeah. Here's a really good example. I went to Sydney, Australia, and we contacted this really cool looking hotel called the QT Sydney, sort of this real trendy looking place. And I needed a place to stay when I went there, so I had Curtis, our COO, contact them, and so they gave us a media rate, which we still have to pay, right? It's a little cheaper, but not as much as normal. Yeah. And then I met with their PR person while we were there, and he kind of showed me around, and he goes, "Look, you don't have to send out any tweets or put anything on social media or whatever." He goes, "If you like it, go ahead and do it." Because we never require this of people that stay. And I think that's a very forward-thinking thing, right? Because you don't have to treat us like children. Yeah. And of course I like the hotel. I took photos. It's actually a really awesome hotel. So
if he's confident in the product, of course, in putting you in that environment, you're going to react accordingly.
Yeah,
right?
But there's still a few marketing organizations out there that do treat bloggers and social media people like children, and say you have to do this, and people are like, "Okay, well, give me a couple $100, I'll do whatever you say."
It's like press, it's like old school marketing, right? Where, hey, I'm going to pay you this much money, and you can guarantee me this many impressions or click-throughs and that kind of thing. And you're saying this world is much more fluid, right, and more personal. So. It's more social, right? Okay. Yeah. So then, tips for people. People are watching this, and we've talked about this in previous interviews, but I wanted to refresh it a little bit. Folks that are out there, they're on Twitter, they're on Google+, they're following you. They see your numbers several decimal points away from theirs. A, should they care? Should the goal be to accumulate as much, or should the goal be accretion, right? Or should it be something else? Does it matter?
No, I don't think it really matters how many followers you have.
It matters for okay, you're going to get sponsorships and that sort of thing. But if you're not into that, should they feel bad?
No, it will grow over time. Everyone's will grow over time, especially if you're doing unique things and sharing in sort of a pure way. I think it really helps. But the numbers don't matter. Whoever is following you is probably meant to be following you.
Yeah.
And you don't need to have a lot of followers to be successful. You can still have good engagement from just a few. And one thing to notice, even about Google Plus in particular, is if you put up a picture or something, you might notice you don't get that many plus ones or that many comments. But one of the great secrets of Google Plus is a little buried. If you actually click on the picture and go look at photo views, that number will be way higher than you think it will. Like maybe if something just got 3 comments, if you go look at the number of photo views, it might be in the hundreds or thousands.
That's interesting.
So a lot of people see your stuff. And the thing is, this is something I've noticed about social media evolution over the last few years, especially the last few months, is people are super busy now. We consume a lot. We have a ton of tabs open. We're flying through Facebook and Google Plus and Twitter. So you're actually consuming a lot of stuff, but people have very little time to actually write a comment on there.
Right.
Or they're like, I'm not going to bother because I'm saying about the same thing as everyone else, or they're just too busy to actually comment. But that doesn't mean they didn't actually see and absorb what you put up there.
Yeah.
So the views are going up, but the comments are going down.
Wow. Okay. So that is a key tip. Just sort of, because a lot of people, myself, when I say a lot of people, I mean me. So a lot of people have the idea that, you post something on Google Plus. I look at yours and I see 4-digit, 5-digit, whatever, plus ones on there. Other people, maybe 100, maybe 20, maybe 10, maybe none, right? But I've never actually looked down into see actually how many people have seen that. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing actually when you zoom in there. It's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Facebook doesn't publish this, but I bet if they did publish your photo views or post views, you would be shocked at how many people actually see your stuff.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if you just get down to it and you look at yourself as an example, let's say you've got people just love wasting time on the internet and collecting information, right? So let's say you've got 15 minutes to goof around on the internet. You're waiting on something like, I got 15 minutes, I'm going to sit down in front of a browser. This happens probably many times a day to people, right?
Yeah.
And so you start looking at stuff, right? You think, okay, I've got only a short amount of time on the internet. What do I want to do? Do I want to spend 15 seconds typing a comment, or do I want to go look at other photos?
Right.
Most people say like, screw the comment. I want more stuff to come into my eyes.
Feed me.
Yeah.
Feed me, Seymour.
Right.
Yeah.
So people now have the idea like, typing in a comment is a waste of my time.
Right.
I want to have more stuff come into my eyes and brain.
Love it.
So I think that's really what's happening is people realize that making a comment is often just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to look at that. Okay, so let's end this off. So this is, I think we're going to be posting this on Media Bytes and This Week in Photo, this video. For your audience, since you have such a tiny audience, I'm going to give you a coupon code for a discount off of the Essential Web Marketing. So for your viewers that want to dive into the marketing piece of this and the stuff that we've been talking about, what would you like the code to be? Stuck in Customs?
This is Stuck in Customs.
Stuck in Customs.
Yeah,
so Stuck in Customs, and I think we'll knock off, how about $20? 20 bucks. Yeah, so that's almost half the price of the product. So we'll knock it down, or a third of the product.
Yeah.
So we'll not.
Yeah.
We'll have to do the math. Yeah, it's about a third of the price.
It's a good deal, no matter how you cut it.
It's a great deal. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing is, so I'm about to refresh the product as well. So because you have to, this stuff keeps changing.
You got to iterate.
Have to iterate. So the people that purchase the current version, which will be great forever, will be getting a gigantic discount on the next one that comes out. So yeah. So be an existing user, and good things will come.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. Well, congratulations, and you're heading off to China in a couple minutes or a couple days.
Yeah, a couple days, and then.
How long are you gonna be there?
I'll be there about a week, and then I stop in Australia, then over to Canada, to Toronto.
Cool.
I'm keynoting at this. There's a big travel convention up in Toronto, and then back home to Queenstown.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're living the life, man. Living the dream. I love it. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
This has been awesome. Very cool. Trey Ratcliff, StuckInCustoms.com. Check him out.